There's just so much you can get into in remodeling your home. But when you talk about floors, my mind is kind of blown. We've got an expert here. We spent a half hour with Jackson. We're going to spend another half hour here. Stay tuned, everybody. A lot to learn about floors for your home. Welcome to the Your Little Castle Show, show number 2, here with our expert in the building. And it's nice to have somebody who has such expertise. But Jackson Spencer, 40 plus years of experience, STL wood floors. If you're going to Google search something, well, he was on the ball when he started this, because you had this. The company's been around since 2010. When you launched it, you're like, okay, let me get that keyword, put it in the name, and here you are. And it's helped you to get the word out. That's some of the techie, nerdy stuff we get into.
Yeah.
Somebody's into that a little bit here.
A little bit.
That's cool. One of my favorite questions, we often start off the second show with this, and that is, what's the biggest mistake? There's a bunch of these mistakes that could be made, but what you were mentioning to me during the break, the biggest mistake the average homeowner makes when they're about to replace floors.
Well, when you go into a retailer and they have different products that they're selling, and they're going to try and sell you something that's on their shelves. Whereas when you reach out to a company like myself and other small businesses around the St. Louis area who do wood floors, you get their expertise as to what floor to put down for the given circumstance. LVP and LVT we went over in the first show. It gets worn out or broken or dented or something like that, you have to replace the whole floor. With a pre-finished floor that you get a lot in retail stores where the floor has already been finished and you install it, the finish is broken on all 4 edges, meaning it's not a continuous film that goes across your whole floor. Whereas when you have a site wood finish floor, you have a continuous film. That being said, there's always a good application for every product. Like an LVP or an LVT would be great to put in a basement where you're worried about water. Pre-finished floors. If you have someone in the home that can't leave the home due to some disability, or they have some sort of allergy to the different chemicals that we use in our finishes, then it's a great reason to do a pre-finished floor. So every floor, everything has its application, and it is up to me or other experts to help guide that customer as to what is the right product for their floor.
Yeah, because like what you mentioned before, or maybe I'm putting words in your mouth. I'll say it, but that is, and it makes sense. But if you go to a big box store, they can only sell you what they have at the store.
Right.
You have resources to get any kind of floor from Brazil, and you've talked about stuff from around the world.
Yeah.
That they just don't have those resources. So they're going to say, well, based on what we have available, and they may not say that to you, but hey, let's pick from what we got here, and they may not have the solution that they best need for those reasons. What's the difference between LVP, LVT? What are the different types of?
Well, LVT is luxury vinyl tile, and LVP is luxury vinyl plank. So LVT will look like stone. LVP, luxury vinyl plank, will generally look like a wood floor.
Okay, and neither one of them are actual wood or stone, obviously.
Right.
They're a synthetic latex or
vinyl.
Vinyl. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they generally have like a core backing that is made of different things. Some of them are cork, some of them are different other products that they combine together. Then they have a thin layer of vinyl and then a bunch of wear layers on top. And you go to the big box stores and they have really cheap prices, and that's because those wear layers are a lot thinner than if you go to a different retail store like I can go to, like a distributor, and you can get the higher quality stuff that's going to have a lifetime warranty.
There you go. Why wouldn't you want a lifetime warranty? And that means these things, not just 20, 25 years, but lifetime. Yeah. And they would be behind that. You need a new plank, they will get it for you and make it work so that you're not having mismatched floors and having to replace the whole floor like you talked about.
Right.
If you have a small problem and you didn't buy any extras. Interesting. Residential, commercial, you like them both, but mostly residential, and you do some light commercial. Tell me about that and what you like.
Well, I really love doing residential because I'm dealing with a homeowner, and one of the things that I will tell my customers is they'll ask me, well, what's popular right now, right? And I'm like, it doesn't matter what's popular right now. It's your house, it's your castle, right?
Yeah, right, yeah.
And it's something that you have to go home.
Your castle, right?
Yeah,
Like it
I did. And so you have to go home and you have to live there. It has to be, it's like where you go as a retreat from the rest of the world. So do something that you love in your home. If you want a certain color, do that. Don't worry about what's popular out there right now. Do what you love. So that's why I love residential. I'll do commercial work, but I tend to get bit out of that. A lot of guys will drop their prices drastically for commercial work because they're looking for bulk over the one time, where I prefer just dealing with one person. And I've got repeat customers, even though somebody floors last 20 plus years, they move to a new home. I have a customer right now who moved from Clayton down into the city over right near Forest Park and had a new home and called me in and dealt exclusively with me because he had a previous experience.
There you have it, everybody. Somebody who's got the experience to make sure you don't make those kinds of mistakes. And I understand when you're talking about big commercial jobs, they've got access to it's probably the same stuff you do, but it's bought in different bulk and different methods, so that that's not your specialty. You like to work with the homeowner, and I like what you say there because they're the ones going to be. You're the one that's going to be walking on it every day, looking at it every day. I guess unless somebody's getting ready to sell it right away. But would you recommend somebody replace the flooring before they sell it, or let the new homeowner potentially decide to do that and give them a little discount to have?
Well, I generally let my customers decide that. Like they'll tell me, hey, I'm going to get my floors done because we're moving. And I'm like, great. I'm going to come out and I'm going to give you a proposal. At the same time, what you can do is you can take my proposal, show that to the buyer, and offer them a discount for that amount, so they can decide what they want to do. If they want to, try and make more money selling their home by getting the floors done, then what I'll generally tell them is, let's just go with let's not do a super dark stain like you love. Let's not do everything that you love. Let's get the floors done to a high quality so that it is a nice floor when they come in. But more times than not, they're going to come in, they're going to get the floor sanded and refinished as soon as they move in or right before they move in.
So there you go. So yeah, we have personally dealt with that. Somebody close to me had a home, somebody had passed, and we went to the bidding war, and we had some house flippers friends of mine that were like, I can't go that low. This guy gave us, or that high. This guy gave us like 20 grand more than anybody else. But walk away, essentially. Walk away, let us take care of everything. A new guy came in, he was a craftsman a bit, and so he was happy to, because he could replace the floors and paint the walls and fix the deck and all those things that needed to be done. So keep that in mind, and you'll give somebody that kind of information as that part of the bid process. And then
exactly. I mean, it's something that I feel like my job, I feel like, is to educate my customers as to what the different products are out there and what their different options are. I'm not there to make a decision for them. It's their home, it's their floor. I provide the information so that way they understand what's going to happen while the floors are getting done, how to take care of the floors when they're done, and to make sure that they get something that they love.
You have a floor advisor here, everybody. He will come in and consult you specifically, and with no obligation to buy anything, but just good.
I've sat on the phone for 2 hours with a lady who told me that she wasn't going to use me, but then she had questions about the guy that was doing the floor. I sat there on the phone answering all the questions and basically letting her know, hey, the guy's doing it right. He's doing it differently than I would, but he's doing it exactly how it can be done and should be done. It's not a problem how he's addressing the problems in the floor. So I don't mind doing that because I feel like it's an obligation that I have. I've had this business for as long as I have. The community has supported me. I might as well help them make their decisions in their floors. And
it'll come back around. The word will spread. That lady may tell 5 or 10 other people that do want to buy. Say, call Jackson up. He spent 2 hours with me. I didn't buy anything, but he will help you too. And that's what we want. We want good information so that we're not making a bad, could be expensive decision
right.
when you've got the wrong floor and something that's less worthy and falls apart quickly and all the other problems you run into. What do you like about the St. Louis market specifically? There's some nice old homes here, but you mentioned you like the people here in St. Louis a lot too.
Yeah, I grew up in St. Louis, and for a short time, I lived in California for about a year. I've lived different areas. I lived in Florida for about a year, but I always ended up coming back to St. Louis. I love the people here. It's that Midwest personality that people have where you're generally welcome to I mean, how many big cities do you go in these days that still everybody says hi to each other?
Right. No, you get that a lot here still in St. Louis. And
Yeah.
I wave at the neighbors when I go by, and if they don't wave back, I go wave more. But yeah, we generally are very nice and considerate and friendly, and that's a good way to run business too. As they get that, make people smile. I enjoy that. It's where we do the Cardinal Cowboy thing. A lot of fun with it. But St. Louis is a great city. What do you like about some of the architecture and some of the buildings? A lot of times you are revitalizing an old floor rather than recommending they put a new floor in.
Yeah, I mean, I specialize in historic wood floors. That's one of the things that I grew up doing. My dad worked a lot in Lafayette Square and Compton Heights and historic Shaw. So the architecture is, you just don't see the craftsmanship that you see in those old homes. So you're dealing with things that are, over 100 years old at this point. I think the oldest house I did was in Louisiana, Missouri. It was started construction in 1862. They completed construction in 1866 because we had a small conflict there in the middle.
Right. Yep.
So, you just get to see and handle things that you don't run into with the brand new floors. So it's part of it for me is that overcoming those barriers, those things that get in your way.
Such is life too, everybody.
Right.
Somebody who's been through it for 40 years of experience doing this, everybody, they know what they're doing. They will help you get through that. Tell me a time though when you had a particular customer. A lot of people like to hear this one too. So, somebody that was in a tough situation, maybe a contractor that couldn't finish the job, you had to take over, or just a time where you could tell somebody maybe they made a bad decision and bought the inexpensive stuff at the big box store and had to take it back or finish what they had. I'm sure you've had many instances where you've had to really come back and help somebody.
Yeah, I think one of them was, well, there's one from when I was a kid and there's one from when I owned my own business. So there was a guy who decided to try to do it himself, and he had started sanding the floors, and the drum sanders spin at, tens of thousands of RPMs, and when you come up to a wall, you have to be able to lift the drum up off the floor before you hit the wall. Otherwise, it just digs in and just grinds a valley, a gutter along the whole wall.
Right, and the wall's stopping it, so it's spinning.
Yeah. So anyway, he had kind of destroyed his floors, and my dad and my brother and I came in, and he hired us to do the floor, and we were able to feather that all out and make it not as noticeable. You can't get rid of it; it's there, but you can make it less noticeable. And I think that's really what makes a professional at a particular job, is that it's not that we don't make mistakes. We know how to fix them. We know how to make them look good and get it right.
That's important. Yeah, a lot of people, the person who says he's never made a mistake hasn't been in the job very long. Right,
right, exactly.
So you're going to have issues, but it's how do you fix? My dad taught me that one a long time ago too. Says it's not the expertise of just letting the system run. It's that when there's a problem, how do you fix the problem?
Right.
And having the expertise to solve the problem. And so that was a tough one there, but it's good you fixed that for your. They became your client then, I guess,
yeah.
too, and obviously you helped them with that. Tell me a challenge you've been through as a business owner. There's hurdles every day, but what is something you've learned a lot from?
I mean, being able to switch gears quickly. It's something that I have to deal with on different projects, but it's also something that I have to deal with in life. I guess starting off 2 years into my business, my brother decides to leave. He hadn't necessarily discussed that,
right.
in great detail with me.
Sure.
And then all of a sudden, and he and I were a team, and it takes two people generally to get the jobs done. You have one guy running the big machine, and you have another guy going around the edges, sanding the floor, right? So I immediately had to come up with a solution to that problem. And so it's just something that I feel like has taught me a lot in life, is being able to shift gears, because even a flooring project is going to present those issues with you. Like there was a job that I had where we were sanding and finishing the floor, and all of a sudden we're finding all this termite damage on the floor where termites had eaten into the wood.
Ooh.
So now we have to go through and tear out parts of the floor and replace them. And with that one, I had to do, I didn't have to. I decided I had to do that at a greatly reduced price, because this was not something that was incorporated into our contract when we opened the contract. So, it's something that I have learned to handle, is just being able to shift those gears.
Shifting gears, I like what you said there. That's a good one because there's so many times you got to go over here, but you got to stop this and you got to get back to that. And there's other things running in the background, and that's called running a business, everybody. So my dad made that joke. I quote my dad quite a bit, but he said, are you sure you want to run your own business? Because then you don't have a boss, but everybody becomes your boss. All your customers become your boss.
That's right.
And you've got to answer to them all the time. But with that, we're going to share our other interview from the event there with the annual luncheon with the the Browns Historical Society, and this is Larry Berra, Yogi Berra's son, and some more about the community, what we do, and we'll be back here in just a minute. Stay tuned, everybody. This is the Your Little Castle Show. We're here with Larry Berra, Yogi Berra's son. Larry, great event today with the St. Louis Browns Historical Society.
Yes.
What was it like being Yogi Berra's son?
Like I said in the, I don't know what it'd be like today, but Dad was just back in those days in the '50s. He was a dad. Most of the players were just fathers because they were playing baseball was a job to feed the families. They didn't make the money. Most of them had to work in the wintertime. Right. So Dad was around all the time. He did everything we did. He wouldn't travel. He would take us to the movies. He loved movies. He loved coming to our sporting events and that kind of thing. So I had no complaints about him being my dad. So he was great. My mom and dad were just tremendous.
What was it like? Did you have a lot of fun with him as your dad? Was he a fun dad, as much fun as he had with all of his yogiisms?
Well, the yogiisms were the yogi, but with us he was like I said, he was regular. He loved to play Monopoly. He loved to play checkers. And the one thing about him was he was a dad that never let you win. But when he beat you, he would tell you how and remind you so you wouldn't make the same mistake again. He taught you while he was beating you. And it was a lot of fun, because when you beat him, you knew you beat him on your own. So it was great because we would let him know that, we got you this time.
And all those championships with the Yankees, is that kind of a fun that's legendary, 27 total World Championships for the Yankees. Yogi was part of probably at least
10 of them.
10 of them, okay.
Yeah.
And impact, was that neat being part of that and seeing all that?
Well, I was I was young. He had already won 7 before the time I was 7 years old.
Wow, okay.
So, I saw the 58 one, the 61, 62. Those were the good ones, and those were always fun because I got to go to those games. I got to see at least 1 or 2 games in each one of those series. So that was fun. Yeah, sure.
All right. Remember, everybody, if you see a fork in the road,
take it.
Take it. We'll be back. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up.
By now, we are on ABC 5 times a week. So many businesses are loving what we're doing to help them get their name out there. We'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there's no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Professional video on your website closes more sales by instantly building trust, clearly explaining complex products, and keeping visitors engaged longer. Reducing bounce rate by 34%. It'll help you to gain that credibility, increase engagement, simplify complex tasks, lower your sales friction, and boost your rankings on the search engine. So this is all kind of a no-brainer. See how we've now had over 500 interviews and now almost 250 different business owners. Go to bigleagues.com. That's bigleagues.com. Go to bigleagues.com and get signed up. You can schedule right from there. There you have it, everybody. We're back, and it is fun being the Cardinal Cowboy, getting to go to such fun events. Those events, a lot of the events I go to are public. If you follow me, I'll tell you about them. My people ask me all the time, how do I get to go to this event, or what's going on here, and who should I talk to? We like to help people to engage in our community. But with that, the technology and social media, I always say, if you'd like to learn a little bit about some of the secrets, I wrote the introduction here, the foreword they call it, the Cardinal Cowboy. This is called Magnetized Media, the name of the book here. #1 seller on Amazon, and yours truly. But boy, has technology changed. It's a car. We don't know anybody better who's learned how to leverage social media and all of those things. Would you help us write this book? So essentially, you wrote the first chapter. But with that, I didn't realize, kind of an expert yourself with the marketing side for the digital side of the world, SEO, web development, social media, those things you've done well with. How has that all impacted your business? You said it's changed a lot since you started doing this too. And tell me the impact there.
Sure. I mean, like when I first got started, I think we were still, gosh, what was that called? MySpace?
Yeah. Yes.
Was the big thing.
MySpace, yes.
Facebook wasn't even maybe a whisper of Facebook at the time, and now Facebook is one of the biggest ways to market your company and to get the word out that you do what you do. And I mean, even now I'm having to relearn ChatGPT and Claude and all these different AIs because it's like there's a whole nother way of getting questions answered and how to do things. So I mean, technology just has changed in leaps and bounds, and I mean it's changed a lot in my own field too, where this past month I had a whole bunch of brand new wood vents made for an old home to look like the original ones that had been in there, but they weren't using saws to do it. They were using lasers. Like a lot of these guys are cutting things now with lasers and things like that.
Wow.
And, there's even methods of stripping wood, like paint and stuff off of wood using lasers. So, it's something that back when I was growing up, you were using, a heat gun or chemical strippers, and now they have infrared and lasers that strip wood. So there's a lot of different changes so far as, in the technology of in my field, and also the technology of what I utilize to get my name and my company better known.
Well said.
Yeah.
And one there, I clarify, when he says stripper, he's talking about the material that actually strips off.
Right.
We're not talking about...
Yeah. Sorry. Like chemical stripper.
Yeah, right.
Chemical stripping of paint and varnishes.
So we always have fun with that joke if I get the opportunity. But understand there, all professions in our planet are respected.
Except for the oldest.
Except for the oldest. Even that, oh boy, I got in trouble using that joke before with somebody who was very, very conservative. Nothing against that either. But hey, man, we all enjoy our little place on the planet and have a little fun with life too, because life is short. But make sure you get it properly cleaned off, the right type of stripper to get that done. chemically, right?
Right.
So where we got it. I'm just going to switch topics here because that's fun. But tell me the process though. Somebody wants to hire you. Pretty straightforward. Get a hold of you. Go through the website.
Yeah, you can get a hold of me. My phone number is 314-369-6857. You can reach out to me by phone, by text at that number. You also have the contact form on my website. I think you scroll down there.
We got all kinds of different options, but
go to refinishing.
Yeah, refinishing, and there you go.
There's the contact form. So you can go there, fill out that form. It forwards it to me, and then I'll be reaching out to you within 24 to 48 hours.
Somebody that's on the ball. You're getting to work with the owner and the founder here, everybody, who's done a great job. Obviously with 40 years experience and been around in business now, 16, almost 17 years, doing a great job to help our community. What is the biggest question? What's the biggest, we call that an objection that people have before they get started? It's either time or price.
Yeah, I mean, it's the length of time that it takes to do a job. Generally, your run-of-the-mill home is going to take, 4 or 5 days to get done. And, that's a long time to be out of your home and not being able to walk on your floor. And the other one is cost. And, I try to keep my cost at a fair price. Recently with the pandemic that happened, the costs of materials, particularly in my field with wood floors and, shipping and things like that, the prices doubled and they haven't come down. Like when they doubled during the pandemic, that's the prices that they've kind of stayed at.
Yeah, I don't know if that was just a lifestyle adjustment. Everybody had to raise their prices because it could have come down because the prices for the markets were freed up. Transportation got back to very close to what it was before. But everybody takes their opportunity to make their buck when they can. So get the quality stuff and save somebody from spending a lot of money buying new floors. Get a refinished floor. That's one of the big things you would probably
have and if the floor is in good enough shape and it's already refinished, another procedure that we can do is we can clean and then put a new coat of finish down. You call me for a free consultation. I'll come out to the home, tell you my opinions and my feelings on your floor, and talk with you, find out what you're trying to achieve, and then figure out the best route to get there.
There you have it. Ultimately, what gives you the most satisfaction? I can only imagine the smile you get to see on somebody's face.
Yeah, I mean, I love seeing the floor when it's done. Like, floors are just gorgeous. Anybody can paint a wall and make it a single color or different colors. And there are some artistic ways to paint walls, but to see the natural beauty in a wood floor is something that you just don't get with many other fields, and then also having the customer, tell me how much they love their floors and they can't believe what I've done, and I couldn't believe that this is what I could have had all these years. Why did I wait so long?
Don't wait, everybody. Get it done. Call STL Floors. Jackson will take care of you. You're watching the Your Little Castle Show. Giddy up.